Hello and welcome to Jabberjaw. I'm your host, Jessica Dawson Collier, and with me, as always, is Tyson Wheeler Dinus and Matthew David Smith. Guys, welcome
Thank
to
you.
another week.
Thank you. To another week.
Yes,
Yay. We're
isn't
back.
it lovely?
We are.
We
We're
are.
on like a rather predictable schedule. Like we
I
we have.
know. So proud of us.
I bet. Yeah, I know. Actually, I was thinking about this earlier. I think if you plot graph this out like by month and like average temperature, I'm guessing we get a lot more regular than when we don't feel like doing anything else.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
I think the colder the weather gets, that's when we're more
The
consistent.
more
So
we miss each other. Yes.
I
Yeah. We
know.
need that
So
warmth from
nice.
somewhere. This is where we find it.
So cute. So
Yeah.
cute. Adorable. How have you guys been? It's been shaking. Tyson's been a mover and a shaker.
He has.
In theory, that is correct. The as we did our annual family vacation this last week, so we left Wednesday morning at we left the house at 4 o'clock in the morning, and then we got there at about 11. Well, I should probably say where there was. We went to South Carolina to a place called Modesto Island, which is just south and a little east of Charleston, South
So I'm not going
Carolina.
to interrupt you, Tyson, but that's exactly where Kathy and I went 2 years ago.
Oh, really?
Same exact place. Yeah, I can't believe that. Yeah,
Whoa.
exactly. Anyway, continue because it's a great place. So
Yeah,
continue.
That's so cool.
yeah, it
I
was
gotta
really nice.
go, apparently.
Yeah, it was really nice. We had a Weston thing, a Wyndham Hill or Wyndham Resort. My parents have a timeshare thing, so it was really nice. We did a bunch of stuff. The place has in some of those places like that on the beach. Uh, they put elevators in those. You have like 3 stories, including like the ground floor, which is nothing but pylons. So when it inevitably floods, you hopefully won't lose the whole house,
Right.
just access to it with a boat. But it,
Tell
the
the
ele-
global warming subsides. Yeah, then you can
yeah, yeah, yeah.
right
Yeah,
back in.
yeah, yeah.
It's right on target. Nail that down. Um, no, it was interesting because it was well, 2 things happened. First off, you feel an incredible. Well, it occurred to me that like at one time I had to fart, and I was like, I can't do it in this elevator. Somebody else is gonna pay for this. It's not me. I'm just gonna get out. Um, and then I just was like, well, then you're gonna. So I was like, well, I don't know. It's not like I have to fart in elevators all the time, but it happened a couple times. I was like, oh, can't do that. Can't do that. But about every six
What's
times,
happened, Tice? Come on.
I know.
every six times or so, the elevator wouldn't work, and one and so it would take you to the floor, but it wouldn't open the doors. So you'd had to go to another floor, and then it would open the doors, and then you go back to the floor that you wanted to get in on. Uh, and um, and so I've been having some more problems with my back surgery and whatever. And so one day I stayed home because there was a walking tour and a bunch of stuff, and I had done a plantation visit and something else the day before, and I was like, nope, can't go. So I was at home, or sorry, I was in the condominium or whatever it is, and I didn't have my phone yet. I got stuck on the elevator, and no one was there. And
Oh, shit.
I was like, this is awesome. So anyway, with, you know how you say like,
I mean, you were saved, I guess. You're
well,
here.
yeah, I'm here. Yeah, you know that thing where people will be like, if you hit, the button on the elevator multiple times, it doesn't get there any faster. Well, I hit every button, every damn button. Like, I mean, so I was only
Oh,
stuck in there for
man.
about 5 minutes. So that was pretty good. But
Do
I
you
was
have
like,
claustrophobia?
uh, no, not like a little bit, but not in an elevator. Like,
Okay.
I
Yeah.
feel like elevators are pretty easy. Like, like if an elevator was 100 feet up, right? Let's just say it's 100 feet up in a skyscraper. And I don't know if you've ever seen the bottom of an elevator, but really all it has is a giant spring at the bottom to help, deal with the fall. So it doesn't just, it goes bang and it kind
It's
of,
not just like a pool of alligators just waiting to
right?
fucking rip you to
Yeah. And if you and
Uh,
just a little public service announcement: if you ever are in an elevator and it starts to drop, lay down on the floor. just lay down flat on
Oh,
your back
yeah.
because you'll just bounce. Hopefully the rest of the building won't fall in on you, but
Interesting.
you're certainly not going to hurt you're not going to hurt your knees or anything like that if you try to maintain a standing. Anyway, uh, so elevators don't do that to me, but I have found that now that when I go to caves now, there's always a part of the cave where it's like, all right, you need to suck in your gut a little bit and kind of maneuver just to get through this little part to get to the next part.
I can't do that stuff.
That that bothers me now,
Yeah.
especially if they're like bats, like an inch from your face, and you're like, I know you're not going to do anything to me, but still, I don't like it. Um,
Hard pass.
anyway, it was great vacation. We ate out a lot. We had a full kitchen. We didn't. I don't think we cooked anything but eggs in that whole kitchen the whole time we were there.
That's
Um,
fine.
yeah, and we went to. Oh, let's see. What do we do? So the first day was my favorite day, I think, but it was kind of a fucked up day too because I got up a little bit later than everyone else. We were going to head to this place called Beaumont, South Carolina. Uh, sorry, Beaufort, South Carolina. Now there's a Beaufort, North Carolina. It's pronounced different ways, and I could get into that, but nobody cares. Anyway, but the
Clearly,
southern one, the
people of
one,
the Carolinas do, but go ahead.
I
yeah,
was gonna, yeah, that's
the,
interesting. Okay, I have
yeah,
questions. It's fine.
well, so apparently it's a French word, right? Or no, it's a Beaufort is an English word, but uh, or maybe it's you know what? Even I didn't understand it, but it doesn't really matter. So anyway, when I got up that morning, they're like, "We're gonna run Sally to the emergency room," and there are no emergency rooms anywhere on Adesto Island because it's really just this place for like people to chill. Well, she
What
got
was happening?
well, she got bit by what probably was a brown recluse, and she had
Oh,
this huge, big,
Sally.
two little bite marks right there, like right, kind of like on her, like upper thigh, kind of, and a big bruise around it. So
Oh shit.
just to be
She
safe,
okay?
yeah, she's fine. So we
Okay.
went into town and we dropped her off at the emergency room or whatever, just so she could get some medicine and whatever. And then she was fine. But then,
You guys
some,
dropped her off. You're like, hey,
I
we're
was
still
thinking the
on
same thing. I'm
vacation.
yeah,
like,
pretty much, yeah.
yeah.
So like,
So we're gonna go grab some lunch.
it was like
Check you later.
the tour starts in 15
Time's
minutes.
a ticking.
We
Yeah.
gotta go. So my mom and my sister stayed there and did whatever,
Oh,
got healthy, and then we went to this place called Kabuzi, which is a kazoo factory slash
Amazing.
museum. Uh, it was me, Dad, Beth, and then two other, I would say, couples, probably in their mid to late 60s, and then eight girls ranging in size and age. I think the oldest one we think we figured out was 17, but they were all wearing pageant sashes and even had a crown. A couple of them did, and they were there for that tour as well, which just gave the whole thing just a little weirdness. They were from that town, and I think they won the prize of being Miss America International. What still have no idea what they won, or also if there was a one main winner, and everyone else just wore their stashes. Anyway, so they play a video, then they take you in the back. They show you how to make kazoos. Where's my kazoo? So I made this little kazoo, and so
Does
very
it
nice.
work?
it does.
Excellent.
Um,
That's
so
so cool.
yeah. So anyway, and then after that, there's like I don't know, maybe 150 pieces of paraphernalia, that are related to kazoos or whatever. So that was for me. That was my favorite thing because it's so weird and random, and also like if you have a kazoo factory, you might as well try to make a little cash on the side. It was 14.
Absolutely.
It was basically $15 a pop for like an
Oh,
hour,
damn.
but for an hour of whatever, and of course the complimentary kazoo. Um, so I rather enjoyed that. I think that was
Did
really
you learn
fun.
what the piece of the paper is called? Does the piece of paper have a special name?
It does, but I cannot tell you what it is.
Oh,
I can
oh,
tell you that they cut them out 10 at a time. So like
interesting. Okay.
yeah, so basically like there's two pieces to a kazoo and that little piece of paper that goes in there that makes the vibration. So the two pieces of plastic they get from a manufacturing plant somewhere. They showed the video how it was made, but they didn't actually have the plastic stuff in the back.
Okay.
And then they have these little machines. One of the machines cuts out the little pieces of paper. One of the machines, you assemble the piece of paper and the two plastic things, and you put it inside. It's like a little pneumatic thing, and it goes like that, and then victory. So this woman who was like could not give a shit that there was people there watching her work did about I'm gonna say she did like 50 of
Loves her
them.
job. Loves
Yeah,
her job.
I think she did 50 of them in like a minute. Like it was just like
Whoa.
because she got them all assembled kind of where they needed to be and just was like, and they make a lot of kazoos. And they
I
send
was
them all
wondering what
across.
the worldwide demand for kazoos was these days.
It is weirdly big from what I can
Is
tell.
it?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then one of the things and I'll send you guys some pictures. I think I sent you some pictures, but they have this
Yeah,
thing.
we have lots of content we'll share with everyone.
There's this big sign in the back, and it just says, "We keep the world humming." And basically, what happens is they've got this standing thing where anybody in the world with low income schooling or cheaper schooling, they'll send the factory rejects to them.
Oh,
So
that's cool.
they
Yeah.
sell these, so they ship like say the color's wrong and like they've already made 1,000 of them, the color's wrong. They need to make 1,000 more. They just buck up the 1,000 and they send them to Senegal or whatever. So that was kind of neat. Um, and yeah, it was just a lot of fun. And then we ate a lot. I think I mentioned that we drank a
What
lot.
was the best thing that you ate?
Well, so I missed there was a walking food tour. Um,
Oh,
and that was part of the thing. That's one of the things I missed. I got mixed reviews on that. Beth liked
okay.
it more because she's more of a foodie
Yeah.
than some of the other people in my family. And so we kept going back to this place called Muskies, Whaley's. It was called Whaley's. And,
Whaleys?
yeah, Whaley's. And
Okay.
they just, basically, you can just basically get, everything you want: flounder, shrimp, fried, not fried. They had sushi nachos, which everyone loved, but I didn't want to eat them. And then yeah, so that was pretty cool. I did eat it at the best fried chicken place I've ever eaten at before.
Whoa, that's saying
Oh,
nothing. No, this
what?
is
I'm,
Owls,
I know, I,
close your ears.
wow.
I know I'm
This is
burying the
not,
lead here, but
wow.
but we were we actually had to kill some time. Matt was exactly right. Well, let's go get some lunch before our tour starts, and you're at the hospital. Just down the road, there was this place called Maryland's Fried Chicken, Maryland, like the state, and it was insane. I have a picture of my plate before and after, and it looks like a hurricane ran through that plate because it is just there's nothing but remnants. Because if there was any way I could eat any of it, I did. So that
Wow.
was really, really good. And I told him, I said, I've been to the colonel's wife's, because there was a KFC right next to it. And I was like, oh, that poor KFC, it's got ass kicked by these people. But I told him that it was better than the colonel's, and they were pretty happy about that.
Was
So
it like divey or was it like
it
a
was
Yeah,
night?
what was the scene?
it was imagine like a 1940s or 1950s uh, Dairy Queen kind of looking shaped building,
Gotcha. Yeah.
and they, I mean, I don't, you didn't want to think too hard about maybe how they didn't stand up to certain codes, kind of the same way I used to feel about Al's Chicken Hut. I'm like, I don't need to see I
Right.
know there's
Right.
bugs back there, I don't care.
Right.
But
There's
yeah, it was,
sausage being made, then there's owls being made,
that's
and
right.
That is true. That is true.
But yeah, it was delicious. It was really, really good. So, and it came with rolls, and it was two rolls,
Excellent.
two chicken breasts, and a wing, and fries. And I think that was
How were their fries compared to owls?
they were basically the same.
Basically the
okay.
same.
Cut
Wow.
fresh,
All
cut
right.
fresh. So
Gravy on the side.
Yeah, a
uh,
little gravy.
no gravy that I remember seeing.
Oh,
They also sold shrimp. So and my dad got gizzards,
Of
okay.
course. Of
of course,
course.
right? And I think Beth got shrimp, and I got the chicken. But
Oh.
Yeah, it was really good, and I wanted them to taste it, but I didn't want to give any away, so it was real. It was hard.
Wow, that
It
is
was it was, it was a real tough moment for me to be like, okay, here, try this. Uh, I did actually ask when we after that we took a little motorized tour of Beaufort, South Carolina, which is home to a bunch of movies that were made there. It's this
Like
old
such as?
lots of scenes from Forrest Gump, The Big Chill, uh, North and South, the TV version with Patrick Swayze.
yes.
Uh, and the famous author was from there. And Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds got married at the plantation just outside the city where we went to go and check the plantation out. So, uh, yeah, so it was so that was kind of cool. We were driving around and stuff, and we got done, and I knew that the chicken place. Keeping in mind that I had just eaten there 5 hours before, I was like, we could still make it, and we could have dinner at the chicken place.
You're
Um,
like Jonas on every vacation. If he finds his spot, it's like, forget about it. We're gonna go back at least twice.
but it was an hour and 15 minutes drive from Desto
Oh
Island.
shit. Okay.
So we just kept going. We went to the same place 3 times because on Mondays it's such a laid back community. Nothing was open. No restaurant. There was only one restaurant
Mm.
open. And there's no fast food and whatever. So anyway, it was a very nice time. And the other thing that was really cool, I thought, was we went on an eco tour, which is like where a biologist takes you out on their boat and then explains,
Oh wow.
the marshland and whatever. And
Right.
so we were doing that, and we saw a couple dolphins, just kind of swimming.
So
You
neat.
see them, and then we went up into the tall grass and where they harvested oysters, whatever. And then she's like, you know what? She's like, I know we've been out here an hour, but I feel like you haven't seen enough. And then it was just dolphin city, like dolphins everywhere. There's like 3 pods of families live there. The pods can be 8 to 12 people, all female, and baby males. And I'm sure if you haven't seen it, uh, I'll send you some video of it. But they were everywhere. They were all over the place, and it was just really fun. They'd come up and they'd blow out the water. It was really neat.
Yeah, that was probably
That is
one of
cool.
our favorite parts. Is we jet skied, and they were just like, and the last thing we expected to see next to us was like a dolphin like swimming. It was the neatest thing. Yeah, it was very
Amazing.
cool. Very
Yeah,
Ah,
cool.
cool.
and we
Yeah,
were
very
and
neat.
we went to the beach that was on that was like facing the Atlantic Ocean because a lot of it's facing this three river basin, and we were picking shells, and 20 feet off the shore there was these dolphins just swimming,
Wow.
and it was just like that is so weird, but
That is so weird.
it was very relaxing. If you want to like calm your heart rate, go out and watch dolphins swim in the wild for like 30 minutes. It's really peaceful.
Yes, please.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that was really good. I don't remember how much it cost, but it wasn't terribly unreasonable. Uh, and yeah, so it was a great trip. Saw some family that lived there. I heard this story. I'm gonna tell you this story. Uh, I had never heard this. My grandpa from my mom's side was a bit of a character. Let's go with that. And he was always kind of doing jokes and stuff like that. And I'd never heard this one before, but in Waukene, a Jehovah's Witness came to his house and was like, like, hey, whatever, you found Jesus or whatever. I don't know what they say. Here, read this. You want me to come inside and I'll draw it out for you on a whiteboard? And they're like, no, that's okay. That's fine. I'll just take that thing. Um, and what he did was he ran out the back of his house into his neighbor's yard, went in through their back door, and opened the door for the Jehovah's Witness again, like he lived in this house. He did this several so
Oh
he,
my
so
God.
he did this several houses in a row down their street.
That's
Uh,
really funny.
isn't
That is funny.
that great? I was
Yeah,
like,
I
that
love that.
that's a good
That's
one.
a great joke. Yeah,
That is a good joke. That is
good
a
joke.
good bit.
uh,
Wow.
I
yeah.
love how all your grandpa's neighbors were like just cooperative. They're like, oh yeah,
Nah.
that shit's
Exactly.
hilarious.
Yeah. Nope. That was yeah. So that was fun. Yeah. So it was really fun. I didn't, and that was the first time I've flown out of and flown into the new KCI, which was nice. Uh, and yeah, so it was good. I got a kazoo. I got some shit for my board, some pens and like lapel pens, and yeah, and they had this stuff. There's a big contingency of Gola artists. I don't know if you're familiar. Gola and Geechee artists.
Not
Basically,
familiar.
black people from the West Indies, uh, when they were brought over here for slavery, they worked on these islands, and then they actually farmed rice on these islands. And then
Oh wow.
When the Civil War hit, uh, all the plantation people were just like fuck it, and they just left and left those people to die. So they, in turn, basically set up their own culture and schools. And then
Huh.
when the war was over, uh, nobody wanted to work the land anymore, and they couldn't use slaves anymore because it was illegal. And so yeah, so there was a lot of art, and the main thing is they do basket weaving. And I really wanted to buy a basket, but my sister got a little basket about the size of a saucer cup, and
Oh neat.
it was $75. And they had one
Ooh.
and they had one in the airport that was probably the size
Oh shit.
of like a serving plate,
Hmm.
and it was $1,000. And so and
Wow.
it takes them months and months and months to make
That's what I was gonna ask, how long it takes them to make those. Wow, that's amazing.
yeah, so
Really cool.
it was pretty neat. So I would definitely go back. Desto was real chill, very nice. Temperature was great. It did rain, but that's gonna happen. So
Not too bad. How many t-shirts did you buy?
this is a weird year this year. I bought a hat, a ball cap. I was gonna buy a T-shirt. I bought two Kazoo T-shirts. Yeah, two different things. One, one of the shirts is just it's a picture of a kazoo with wings on it, and it just says hummingbird.
Uh-huh.
That was pretty clever. And then I was gonna buy one from Whaley's, that restaurant we went to so many times, but they were out of stock. So I will probably call in a month and order one of those T-shirts.
As you should. All
Yes.
right.
And I went online to see if I could buy anything from Maryland Fried Chicken, and they're just like, you can just get chicken. That's it.
That's it? Oh, all
So,
right. Any
all right.
stickers?
Oh yeah, tons of stickers.
Mm.
You know, you know how I do. I got a patch, a
I just
pen,
wanted to
and a
make sure
sticker.
you got stocked up before you
Yeah,
left the
yeah.
state, so
I didn't
that's
buy
cool.
anything of note, other than I think I am gonna order some kazoo byproducts. I know that sounds weird, but there's all these add-ons to kazoos. They even had an amplified kazoo that you could plug into your
Wow.
amplifier.
Whoa.
And they wanted $29 for it, and Beth found it on Amazon for 21. So
No way.
yeah, and they had all. I mean, they. I'll send you the link to this place. The stuff they have is all kazoo related, and they have like another vendor who's basically is the other. They're kind of competition in England that make kazoos, but they also make all kinds of clickers and weird things. They had a horn that you could yell into, and it looked like a party horn, like the kind of thing you'd see at a 6-year-old birthday party. You know, it was like, "Brrr."
Hmm.
Uh-huh.
But it was for boats, and you could hear it 2 miles away. And it was
Wow.
when she showed it to
Holy
us,
shit.
she turned around and faced the wall, and she's like, "No, I'm just gonna barely blow this," and she blew it, and it was loud as fuck.
Loudest. Yeah.
So
Neat.
I was like, I need one of those in my house.
Yeah, right.
So
That's
Yeah.
cool.
I think I might
And
get
intruders.
my birthday's coming up, and I might get a little bit of birthday money, and I think lots of it might be going to the good old Kazoo Museum for such a good
As it
time.
should.
Yeah,
Hey, Tice, will you, when we end the show in a little bit, will you play us out with the kazoo?
Oh yeah, sure, why not?
that would be very nice.
Yes. All right. Perfect.
And I don't know if you guys have ever met anybody that has never played a kazoo, because I think Dad just tried to blow in it, which doesn't make any noise. You have to hum.
Yeah.
And I was like, but then I was thinking back to the opening monologue or whatever when she was telling us about the history. She was like, you can't blow, you have to hum. Apparently, that's a common misconception about kazoos is people think you just blow on it, but you don't. You have to hum and blow at the same time. So
I
maybe
remember being
that,
very
that
confused
sounds
by that as a child, in kindergarten, I think, like
okay.
music class.
Yeah, I think the way that all just came out of my mouth and your mouth, I said you have to hum and blow at the same time to make it work, which sounds sexual. And you said when I was in kindergarten, I was like, oh shit. Wait, okay, anyway, sorry. Anyway, this is my head. So anyway, that was it. Yeah, it was
Let's get out of Tyson's head.
Yeah,
And,
let's all get out of this.
I
This is
deserve
not a
that.
safe space.
No, no. I can't believe I've been talking about this for 20 minutes. I've literally been talking about
yeah,
it.
It's
well,
really
it's a cool
interesting. No, I
vacation.
mean,
It is.
yeah, and like you getting to talk about kazoos and fried chicken is just kind of the best. So I was like,
Yeah.
these are
You should have the platform.
absolutely,
Yeah, killed it.
absolutely.
Yeah, it was really fun. And so if you guys ever want to make a couples trip down there, we can get it because my parents can't even use
That would
it.
be super fun.
I'd love to go back sometime. So it's a gorgeous
Yeah.
trip.
That would be awesome.
It's really hard not to like eat seafood the entire time because it's like
Well,
locally
that's
sourced.
all I would be eating,
Yeah,
except at that chicken place. I would definitely get like a drumstick if that's available.
yeah. No, I couldn't. Yeah, I can't even tell you
And
how.
then I would constantly ask you if I could have a bite of yours, Tice, just to fucking.
I literally would have got a full 2 chickens worth of chicken if I had known it was going to be so good, and not eaten.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really good.
Damn.
So
It's the endorsement.
and Dad's like, "Are you gonna move down here?" I'm like, "Fuck that! I'm moving to Maryland. This all chicken is like this in Maryland." I'm like, "Let's go to the motherland and see what's going on up there."
Tyson's Graceland.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Amazing. Oh,
So
hell yeah.
it was fun, and it was my sister's birthday too. So she turned
Hey,
something
happy
or other.
birthday, Sally.
Yep.
Sorry about the bite. God dang it.
Yeah, but she wasn't in a lot of pain. But she got it fixed up, so it was okay. Yeah. And they also took a tour bus of Charleston, which I missed as well. But I feel like the dolphins, the kazoos, and the chickens kind of I saw what I needed to see, in my opinion.
Checked it all off the list.
Yeah, there was also this golf course that wrapped around all these little vacation homes and condominiums.
Did you guys play? Or
No,
would that be weird with your back right now? Probably not.
I couldn't believe
Yeah.
it now. But it was interesting because on Monday there were a bunch of people playing golf, and I was like, and we were just and people watching them play golf, and we were like, what is this? So it turns out there was an actual it was women's golf invitational, college invitational.
Oh.
So
boring.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I was just like, where, because I mean, after a while, I was like, well,
JK, girl power.
There are no men out here except watching. I did just for those people listening. I did the left and right look just for my friends, just you guys. Yeah, so it was great. It's a great time. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. What do you guys? Well, so so I guess the end of this thing is I didn't. MSNBC was on the whole time, until we just were like, can't watch this anymore. I didn't read the news. I didn't. I didn't watch any movies or anything that wasn't related to kazoos or possibly, slavery. So yeah. So I'm bunk basically with stuff. So you guys, I'll be happy to talk about whatever.
You don't have the hot goss this week?
I don't got the goss. I don't got anything.
Wow.
I will say that
you have a lot of kazoo stuff, I guess.
Yeah, my dad was wearing a Kansas City Chiefs shirt when we were on the tour, and he was wearing a lot of Kansas City stuff. Various people were asking us all the time about Taylor Swift, and they're asking us about Mahomes and so I don't know.
I mean, we know that Rick knows, but how do other people know that Rick knows? Like that, they just assume by the. I mean, that's wow. That's a leap in logic. That person's from Kansas City.
Yeah,
we have a football team. What's next? Taylor Swift. Hello, we're from Beaufort.
Yeah, even our eco captain, she was a biologist, and she was asking us about. About the Chiefs and
Jesus.
I know.
Big damn deal. Big damn deal.
Kansas City finally has its moment, folks. And,
on the map, finally.
I did see that Mahomes and Kelsey just went in together on a Formula One race car. So they
Oh,
Yeah.
so if
I didn't know
I
that.
mean so Mahomes owns part of the Royals, part of the Sporting KC, which is a soccer team, part of the Chiefs, I believe. His wife owns the women's soccer professional soccer team in Kansas City, and
Late breaking news.
yeah, and then now they got a race car. I can't wait till they sponsor a professional ping pong player. It's just going well for those guys. So
Oh,
Off the charts.
as long
Off
as
the
they,
damn charts.
as long as- it also was funny because my parents and my sister and Beth and I and one of Sally's friends have our own football league. So it was more like a tutorial half the time because I was trying because mom and dad have never done it. So I was constantly like, well, what does it mean? It's red,
Explaining. Yeah.
green, And then so that was kind of a fun, weird thing that happened too. So okay, I've talked enough. What are you guys
Dig
doing?
it. I was also out. I went to New York to visit Glassman and yeah, had a really good time. We were very busy the whole time. It's the first time that like we really planned stuff out. So like, I mean, we had stuff every day, which in retrospect, I was just like, holy God. Sunday, she had planned a brunch with a bunch of our friends, which was very sweet. But we both woke up around noon and she was like, "Do you want to cancel?" And I'm like, "You want to cancel the brunch you planned? We're not doing it. Get ready." Uh, but it was cool. We went to a spa on Governor's Island that overlooks like the South Street Seaport, and it's pretty new. I want to say it was open in the last like year. So we spent a lot of time at the pool just staring at the city. And I don't know if you guys have been to Governor's Island, but super fun. I've seen a lot of shows there and yeah, just a good time. And then what else did we do? Saw Glassman play at Duplex. It was cool to see her play. She definitely owns a room. Uh commands it, I should say. Um, much like she commands her friends. I was like, there's not a lot of difference here. But that was fun. And then met a lot of her new friends, which was great. They're all wonderful people. And then what did we do? Oh, we it was like New York's Food and Wine, like the start, like the kickoff to it. So we went to one of those things that two of the contestants from Top Chef were hosting, Chef Brooke and Chef Antonia. If anybody's Top Chef fans out there, the food was good. I will say they had a problem with like temperature, like figuring that part out, but and keeping things warm. I feel like at a lot of those tasting things, it's like hit or miss. And this was, I would say, more miss than hit. The best thing was like an easy like fettuccine alfredo, and I was like, oh, this is kind of sad. Um, but still enjoyable. The cocktails were great. The DJ was awesome. He was like this little Filipino guy, and he just kept dancing to everything. Like even if the song sucked, he was like into it, and I was into him. So kudos to whoever your name is. Uh, but then after that, we went to Queen. We got tickets to Queen, which was amazing because we had been talking about it forever. And then we had been scoping out the ticket prices and they were insane for Madison Square Garden, like bare minimum $400. I
Jeez.
was like, I like Queen, but there's no Freddie Mercury. Sorry.
Yeah.
So I'm not paying that much to essentially see Brian May, who is amazing. But the tickets came down. We found tickets for like $100 a piece, and
Yeah.
they were
oh
kind of
wow.
in the nosebleed stage right. But man, it was great. I cried a couple times. Like, fuck, that dude can play. And Adam Lambert, man, that guy, it was spooky sometimes how much he sounded like Freddie. And he was great. He was very like conversational with the audience. His voice is fucking amazing. His outfits were so freaking cool. I loved everything about him. I was like, I think I'm a fan now, which is weird because I kind of detested him for a very long time. Like, who the fuck do you think you are? Like pretending you're Freddie Mercury, blah blah blah. But no, it was super fun. And then yeah, I just got to catch up with friends. Like I love New York. You guys know this, but I always refer to it as like recharging my battery going back and hanging out in the Lower East Side and going to the old stomping ground. And yeah,
Sure.
I loved it. Good times. I'm a little sleep deprived still, but didn't get sick.
Yay.
Didn't get my shit robbed, so we're good.
Did you pee in the street? Yes, no?
Did it oh, as I kick over my computer. No, I did not pee in the street. One of my friends has peed in the street, Ryan, and defecated in the street. Hold
Oh,
on a second, I'm gonna fix my stuff.
Wow.
that's fine. That's a,
She's gonna-
That's
know,
apparently a thing. Like a lot of friends have.
oh
You mean
my
like
goodness.
just as like a convenience thing, or like was it a TikTok dare or
Like they
challenge?
can't
or...
find a bathroom, so they
Oh,
just, they're like, "Hey, I really got to go number 2. This is happening,"
just
sort of
because
thing.
we're taking a weird sort of break here, Tyson, I remember we knew this guy who was a runner, and I remember he told us about, I don't, Nick, was that his name? He told
Mhm.
us about how this was not a thing I knew about like professional runners before, but like apparently running needs to makes you need to poop, and so runners just are
I
like
have heard that.
like that's half the challenge is like you're running, but also like they're very like stealthy poopers, and so like it's like being able to sneak into a neighborhood. And like so, when you're standing in your front lawn, like they do a marathon like in front of my front drive, and I'm always got a keen eye, like not in this yard, not in this yard, short shorts, yeah. So
There's a,
anyway,
I can't remember if it was Sally was telling me. No, I think it was one of best friends was telling us that they have this friend who's a doctor and he lives in kind of like the nicer part of Overland Park or Olathe down by there. And he kept finding shit in his front yard, and he's like, "This is so weird." Finally, he watched the ring thing, and it turned out it was one of his neighbors. She would jog by and just stop and shit in his yard, and then take off. And
What?
yeah, so he was he finally busted her. He was like, put out a sign that says, I know." Basically, it says something along the lines, "I know who you are and what you're doing. Stop it, or I will call the police. I have video," something like that. But talk about a weird
That is fucking hilarious,
that
actually.
is weird.
It's a
That is
weird
weird.
thing to deal
That's
with.
so weird. That is something you
That
don't want
is.
to see in your
I
Ring
think
doorbell
yeah. I think
shit.
I would have
Yeah,
just printed
no.
up like 1,000 copies of that photo and been like, "Have you seen this woman?" and just posted it all over.
Yikes.
I'm glad she was ultimately confronted with the situation.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, maybe she had her reasons.
No, I doubt it. So, well, I mean, that would be interesting to know what her reasons were. I mean, it was the same guy every time.
Man, a little
So
flattered that they picked their lawn. I mean, I don't know if that apparently was an appealing lawn. I don't know.
apparently, I don't know. I think that
Apparently,
there was enough shrubbery that she could duck behind. I guess maybe I have no idea.
that is wow,
Just look
ballsy.
comforting.
It
It's
was
like
like
a
if I,
Bucky's bathroom of the outside. Uh,
I did have a bump. I had several people ask me if Bucky's had made their way into Kansas yet, and I was like, not yet, but
I don't
pretty
think
close.
Yeah, it hasn't. No.
So Springfield,
Not
Missouri,
into Kansas, but I feel like there's a Bucky's coming to Colorado
is there?
between Lafayette and Fort Collins. Yeah.
Oh,
Jonas
okay.
and I saw a sign for it the other day. We're like, Jesus Christ.
It's coming. You can't stop
It's
them.
coming. You can't stop it. I really
Yeah.
don't care about Bucky's. Been
I
there a
don't get
million
it.
times.
I don't.
Don't
We
care.
went. We
Right?
bumped in. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah.
It's a giant convenience store.
That's it. That is it. But I have seen my favorite thing to do in a Bucky's is to go in there and just people watch.
Yeah.
Because especially those people who love Bucky's. I mean, they will take pictures in front of
That's
things.
true.
They're buying hundreds of dollars
Oh,
worth of
yeah.
shit. I'm like, what is happening?
It's like a combination. Everyone's like coming. It's like a combination of like Walmart people watching and an airport people watching because you have like
Yeah.
a different variety of
People
just
coming in.
interesting. Yeah, a
It is
vortex of
interesting.
social
It
experimentation.
is a weird vortex.
Yeah.
I will say one of my friends from Austin, she got a great bikini. It has the Bucky beaver like on her nipples, and then it's got the beaver on her bottom part. Love
Also
it. Yeah.
classy.
I was like,
It's also classy. Yeah.
give them what they want, you know. Bucky's
That's
is
true. That's
something for
true.
everybody.
That's true.
That's true.
I can't argue with that. I mean, I was impressed with their beef jerky
And
buffet.
I love beef jerky.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like it's just it was so busy. I think
Yeah.
I think I would have like if like it wasn't so busy, but I just don't like that many people around me for any reason.
Yeah.
Same. That's yeah. And
So,
those
but
kind
yeah,
of gas station people too.
yeah.
At
But
that,
if you get the chance, like go once, maybe check it
For
out.
sure, yeah.
I don't want to derive your
Yeah.
opinion of this place.
Yeah. I
Who
mean,
knows? It might be your thing.
it might. I mean, it also
might fall in love, you know.
it has this kind of weird like I keep thinking of it as like how like you see like these stores with curios that are clearly, for women of a certain age that are just like, oh, that would look nice above the ottoman in the east wing, like things like that, like, oh, this bouquet of it's a thistle and it's a bouquet of whatever, and you could Bucky's is kind of like that, except everything that they have is basically Walmart level niceness. So it's like a curated Walmart. I don't know. It's very strange.
Yeah.
I've only been twice, so maybe I need to spend more than an hour there.
And like everything's like Bucky, like they have their own like store brand of like
Yeah,
Yeah.
of like a lot of stuff. So it's like, Bucky this and Bucky that. And you can work a lot with Bucky. I mean, they was a very smart name choice because it's very easy to name food products Bucky something.
that's true.
Even if it does sound
That is
entirely
true.
disgusting.
Oh man.
What'd you do, Matt? What have
Yeah,
you been
Smith,
working
what
on?
did you do?
Yeah, so I
What
guess
have
it
you
was
been up
my
to?
time to not be up to much. We
Oh
took it
yeah.
pretty, because kind of a normal, typical week here in Indianapolis. It got a little chilly, a little chillier, starting to rain a little more. It's not quite as optimistic outside as it once was, but no, it was a
Damn
good.
it.
Took it. I stayed in this weekend and took part in a hackathon, which I'm very proud of myself because I pulled
Yay.
my first all nighter in I don't know how long, but I did 23 hours straight, and I don't know the last time I've done that. But I wasn't sure I'd be able to do that because there were many times I was just like, go to bed, loser, and then I kept pushing forward.
Quit.
I
Yeah.
didn't listen to myself, and so I should do that more often. Um, but no, made it, sent off like I had to do like this quick introduction video, and so recorded this video at like 6:30 a.m. when I'm stumbling all over my words and can't really talk very well. But no, it was fun. It was fun, and that was really it. Like that was just kind of stayed in this weekend, and yeah.
Jeez, I don't
So.
remember the last time I worked on something. I guess it would have been Parabola in the State House that I
It
worked.
probably would have been. I actually, you know what? It's rare that you would and we would know this, but I guarantee you, it was probably that first Sine Die
Probably was that first signing day.
year where we were there all night. And believe me, I was home, which is a much much nicer place than the docking building or the Kansas State Capitol. And so it wasn't quite that bad. But yeah, I think that you're probably right. That probably was the last time I was up like through the night. And
I think that Sine Die. I got there at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I went home at 9 p.m. that night because
Ooh.
they didn't know when it was going to stop, and it ended up
Oh,
going.
that's right. Yeah, because we did like a split shift thing.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh my God, that was awful.
yeah, yeah. It was not great.
Fucking sucks.
I think they called it at like 2 in the morning or something. It was just like,
Yeah. And why did we kill ourselves, Tyson? So the state of
yeah.
Kansas could further legislate. That's what really gets me. Yes,
Yeah.
we were enabling the Republican Kansas state legislature.
Yes.
Praise
And we
be.
nearly goddamn killed ourselves for it. But you know what? I'm sure, yeah, something. Anyway.
I don't know. I still have this thing.
So worth it.
Oh, he's going to get a memento, I think.
Oh, he's going into the tacky wing.
He's going in. He's entered the tacky
There.
wing. Those
Oh,
listening.
here
Oh,
we
he's.
go.
Is it?
This is just
What is that?
this is an incentive to watch the video. I got one of
Good.
these. I took one of
We
these,
need
Matt.
more viewers.
It's a state of Kansas official proclamation
Wow, you have that like right there
with
too.
Ooh.
the
Like, yeah.
golden seal, and I'm
Oh wow.
trying
Wow.
to figure out what I want to print on here. Something like, on this day will be forever known as Tyson Dynasty Day, the day that, whatever. I haven't think.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
I don't know what to put it with, but yes, I keep it in a fairly safe spot. So,
You maybe, and you could make it about yourself, but you could also like make like the Vermont or the Vermont fried chicken. Is that the no Maryland fried chicken?
Maryland fried
Make
chicken.
Maryland fried chicken the official state chicken of
Ooh.
Kansas.
you know what? I'm putting it on the list, Matt. That's not
I
a
mean,
terrible idea.
you
So
have
good.
you probably are the authority on this. I have to
Yes.
imagine. Yeah, and
Yeah.
and then
Man, the
we'll
people who
sneak it
love
into the
group,
archives. We'll do like a little undercover
they're gonna
mission, sneak it
riot.
in the archives. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
That
tough.
is good. That's good stuff.
Uh,
Maybe I can claim like eminent domain on the Al's Chickenette sign and somehow acquire that.
possibly, possibly.
I need this sign for I guess we're gonna build something here, but I need the sign. I don't know.
It's been a few months since you inquired about that. That was like what last spring when that.
Yeah.
Something like that.
You might follow up and see if she's
Desperate.
gotten a little less fancy
Got
about
it down to
it.
$500 yet?
Yeah. She probably, like it's big, it's huge.
She's like, I need it out of my storage facility.
Right,
It's
yeah.
infringing upon my marriage. Yeah, something like that.
So, I mean,
just ask her, has it ruined your relationships yet?
Chicken that sign. Yeah.
You could be like,
so sleep in separate bedrooms now.
So this was the hill you decided to die on. Congratulations. You showed your family where they all live across town now, away from you. Yeah.
Worth it.
Just want the sign.
Yeah.
My dad, where would you even put that thing? I was like, Dad, the details. Don't worry about that right now.
Not even. Yeah. We'll figure it out.
That's right. Just put it in the backyard somewhere. It's made to be weathered outside. It made it for 50 years, so it should be fine.
That's a perfect spot for it.
Yeah.
We can see Beth having her morning coffee, just staring at it and cursing the bastard.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy. You probably could have had the building for like 20% of what you wanted for the sign. And I know that I think about it. Probably they just left it there.
I mean, you're going to have to bulldoze it. I mean,
right.
I wish they would have like auctioned off all the stuff on the inside because there was
I know.
I would have loved some of those tables and just the weird John Wayne memorabilia.
There was so much art that was always for sale, but no one ever bought one, as far as I could tell. I mean, they had a John Wayne clock. It was John Wayne painted onto a piece of wood, in that 70s feather style where it's just a little hazy, and then a clock. And I think it was, I don't know how much it was, but I really wish I would have bought it.
Or given a chance to buy it.
Meanwhile, my wife is moving.
That would have been a funny auction if Tyson was there. Like, blah, 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 blah. He's like holding up his shit constantly.
All right, that's your 5th pair of salt pepper shakers. All right.
Oh my god, I love it. I feel like this is a good segue into headline of the week because I have some Hayes American news.
Oh, good. I like that. All right. There's a war going on. That's the extent of what I know. Next to you, Matt.
Yeah.
There's a war going on?
What?
Somebody's upset at somebody else? I don't know.
He's being silly. As I explained last week, Jared Kushner is on top of shit, and we'll all be fine. We'll all be fine.
Thank God he's there.
I guess we'll jump in. Just kind of a few random ones. Burt Young, probably he knows him as the trainer from Rocky, passed away.
Yes, I did see that.
Also was in Sopranos. I believe he played Baklava's father in a few episodes. Baklava. That was his name. I can't forget his first name, but
great first name. Love
it. But he played his father on a few episodes of Sopranos, which is probably the last time I think he was. I remember seeing him recently, but anyway, very memorable guy. If you don't know who I'm talking about, you do know who I'm talking about. So
I guess what's her face died too. I guess I did know about that. But
Suzanne Summers. I apologize. Yeah, I also forgot about Suzanne Summers passing away.
Did you guys ever watch She's the Sheriff? That show's not getting a fucking 2023 reboot. I can tell you that. Fucking straight to syndication.
Was that like her kind of vehicle? Was that what that was?
Did you see it? It was She's the Sheriff. So. It was a 30-minute sitcom where she was the sheriff.
Oh, so that high concept.
No way.
Then.
Totally missed that.
Yeah, and I felt like it was always like sort of like in syndication with Mama's Family. Like it was either before or after Mama's Family, somewhere around there.
Interesting. Okay.
I used to watch it all the time. I was a huge. In 3rd grade, my favorite show was Three's Company, even though I didn't really understand all the innuendo.
Right.
I just liked Mr. Furley. So anyway, go ahead. Sorry. Yeah, she's dead.
No. Delivered
That's
with
a
the
hard
eloquence and
fucking.
sensitivity.
That's an amazing transition. Yeah, she's fucking dead. Anyway, go ahead.
Anyway,
Anyway, what other headlines? What other happiness do we have?
I think I still have a thigh master actually at my
Do you really?
mom's somewhere.
She
Oh
made a
yeah, yeah.
lot. She made a lot of
She
money
made a
off that
shitload of
thing.
money
Yeah,
off that.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, these got a little out of order. So,
It's all right.
I can't remember if I got this last time, but if I did not mention it, it's worth repeating. McDonald's McRib is back. Did I mention that last week? I was very excited.
I
So
don't think
again,
so. I think
No,
okay, all
you
right.
did not.
I may have
But
been
I know
sitting on
that's your
that one.
thing.
I actually am a fan of the McRib. If you're a fan of the McRib, do not look up how they are constructed.
yes.
I had to get past this.
I did that last
I
year.
am that big a fan, but don't do that. It's not. It will not. It will not make this seasonal treat very delightful. But I did like this because last year they did say it was going to be the last year for the McRib. They said it was
Yeah.
canceled, and then it came
Yeah.
back. And
Lies.
so
They say
I
that
don't
every
know.
year now.
If we can't hold McDonald's to account, who can we hold? That's just all I'm saying.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
I just have a question. How old is Grimace? When's his birthday?
I'm sure there's an 800 number.
That's an old callback from 68, 60, 69, somewhere around that.
Somewhere in that. Yeah, that's a good guess, actually. Yeah.
Probably big kind of news today. Sidney Powell, one of the co-conspirators in the Georgia trial, pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 5 years in probation in agreement that she will fully cooperate with the forthcoming trial. Now, this is where I laugh a little bit because I have a feeling this is going to be interesting because Sidney Powell is a nut job. I mean, they're all nuts.
Total. Yeah.
Is like she's got the monocle. I mean, she's king nut, and she. So it's very because this is like up to her fully cooperating, right? Like this is her giving them the dirt that they want. So it'd be very interesting to see how far down this path she's able to go. And now, but again, a very good thing for the prosecution. I have to imagine. I don't think a lot of people saw this one necessarily coming. I think that they figured that we'd see a few people flip, but.
Well, I mean, she's so okay. I think she's not stupid, but she's crazy. I think
she's
that's
bad. She's crazy. Yeah.
Right. But I mean, even crazy people are like, I don't want to spend time and pound me.
That is true. That is
prison,
funny. Yeah, that's a very good point. Yes, even Rudy Giuliani was making sense that day. Like it's like, oh, I'm gonna die in prison. Yeah, I'm gonna guess Rudy's already well on his way to flipping. I've got that hunch. I think I'm gonna make a prediction within. Yeah, I think he's gonna be the next.
I think he might actually be too stupid to flip. He's a weird
he
thing.
Can't but that's the thing though, is he's out of money. Like I think it literally is a problem if he's out of money. And hey, guess what? Your friend Donnie isn't helping your ass at all. Why? Because he doesn't care about you.
Yeah, he doesn't like you.
He doesn't.
No.
He doesn't. So anyway, so that was some good news. What else happened in recent memory?
Good news.
Oh, Bluey. Are you guys familiar with the children's show called Bluey?
I am a huge fan of Bluey.
It's awesome.
It's great.
I keep hearing about it, and I just haven't watched it yet.
It is so well written. It's so well done. Obviously, we both have small children in our lives, so that's why we're familiar with Bluey.
Right.
So you encounter Bluey, like it's there, and the theme song is amazing.
Yeah.
Even I'm a big fan of the theme song. It's on my Spotify playlist. Anyway, this comes from DisneyDining.com, which I subscribe to their newsletter. Bluey called toxic. Disney agrees to censor children's show.
What?
Did either of you see this? So
No.
the gist of this was, I think, let me see if I can find the. It took me a while. It made me read a bit.
It made me read.
No, I was trying to think. The controversy centered on an episode entitled Exercise Season 3, Episode 39, where Bluey's dad, Bandit, decides to get into shape after expressing dissatisfaction with his expanding stomach. That's it.
That's it.
That's fucking hilarious.
Some parents found this messaging problematic and considered it to be conveying these ideas, but most believe there was no real harm. However, Disney still went ahead and edited the episode, which is like, so this reminded me, totally not related to this, but this reminded me of something that happened earlier this summer. I don't remember. Beyonce was one of them, and there was another very high profile artist too that they changed the lyrics to their single
Oh
and
yeah,
re-released it.
yeah.
It just reminded me of that. In that that things are going to look very bad, really, really bad in 10 to 15 years because it's like this whole, it's amazing. But the fact that you would re-edit your song because you outraged someone is just, I mean, you may make art, but you're not an artist anymore.
Right.
Agreed. Yeah.
That's gross. So anyway, what else happened? Bluey got canceled.
Bluey's so good. Sorry.
Oh, I know. And, this one. This one just made me cringe all over the place. So I think we all remember the 2022 Academy Awards ceremony where Will
Yes.
Smith made a giant jackass out of himself.
Mhm.
And I believe his quote was, "Get my wife's name out your motherfucking mouth."
Yeah.
Turns out,
Direct
not
quote.
really his wife. They've been separated since 2017.
Yes.
Just
Yeah.
to add another layer of the stupidity to this, I like Will Smith. I think he just made a complete moron of himself
Yeah.
for her.
Stupid
And
mistake.
she in it because she has to be relevant every 6 months.
That's true. Yeah.
And so she's out there and she basically made claims about that they've really been separated for like 7 years and all this stuff about her dating Tupac back in the day. And I did see a few funny memes on Reddit.
I did too. Yeah,
about
they're great.
how the one bullet that Tupac did dodge was Jada. Which I thought was incredibly funny. But anyway, that was just, I was just, oh my god, like really all that outrage, and then we're just sort of hanging out.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
Wasn't that kind of like the worst kept secret in like Hollywood, basically?
Yeah,
I mean, I don't pay attention that much, but I mean,
I don't. I saw
There's
the only
so
thing
many rumors circulating about them for years.
Yeah, I mean, clearly it must have been some kind of I don't know if it was a range, but it was sort of I don't know. You always heard about that in like with Tom Cruise and what's her name, Katie Holmes, like that was like, we've got to make this guy normal, and like she's Katie Holmes. We'll do stuff for her if she marries. I don't know how that probably wasn't true, but it was it was more fun than QAnon, for Christ's sake.
That's true. Yeah,
let's get back
That's
to that.
very true.
Anyway, that's my headlines. That was the week.
Those are good.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think I was going to say
ahead,
that Ronald Reagan's first wife, can't remember her name. She's an actress of some note. Was
Jane Wyman.
Jane Wyman. That was a setup, like his press release.
Was it really?
Yeah, like he was from this gossip columnist's hometown, and so she really wanted to promote him, even though he was in terrible movies. She kept promoting him, got him married to this girl, and then they got divorced because he made Bedtime for Bonzo, and his shit was going south. And she just wanted an Oscar, and
oh no way,
yeah,
that's
and that
awesome.
it was like that's it, and then then the throat goat got a hold of him.
Oh, I knew you
later.
couldn't let that go. Oh, I knew you couldn't let that go. Oh my
beat it.
god,
One of the greatest.
God, if I can figure out a way to turn that into a Halloween costume, I will get back with you.
Oh shit, winner.
Oh shit, I think it's just as easy as like a just say don't say no, just say no t-shirt. I'm like some curls unfurling it. Yeah, I think I'm onto something.
You can do it. Yeah, you're onto it.
Yeah.
What are you supposed to be for Halloween? Like, well, 7-year-old little boy. So maybe not. We'll save it for next year.
Let your parents explain when you're 18.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I just have a few. James Mercer from the Shins said that the next project is coming out next year. So he's working on a new Shins album, which I'm very excited about.
Is he getting the band back together? Because I would be excited about that.
Apparently, like according to Consequence of Sound's little article they put out, yes.
Oh
there
wow,
will be a reunion. So
that's
yeah, I'm pretty
I,
stoked about it.
now
When
I'm
did
excited
they
about that.
when
Yeah.
did they like become inactive
Oh,
or how
he
long
like
was it?
fired all of them, like, or just stopped working with them, and then put out a Shins record.
Some shit went down, and then he started. What was it, Tyson? That band that
He
oh
was
god, he did with Danger Mouse.
yeah,
The
he did.
collaboration. Oh god, I
I
saw them. Bells, broken bells, broken
broken bells.
bells. Yeah,
Yeah, okay,
yeah.
I heard. Yeah,
But he did
Um,
put out a Shins record with like the drummer from Slater Kinney and like some other people, but it was just him. And actually, my brother-in-law went saw. He's a big fan of the original lineup. He hates the new lineup, but he went and saw him because they were touring the 20th anniversary of their first record or whatever. He
right.
said, dude came on stage, sang every song, didn't say a single word the entire time he was on stage. Just sang the songs and
huh.
I hate when they do that shit. It
show's
doesn't
over.
happen too much,
No,
but
it really
yeah, when
doesn't.
it
But
does happen,
I
yeah.
think you have to be big enough to do that. I think that's acceptable from some people, but like just because, but I'm not the Shins.
no, no, probably not.
Like,
Yeah,
No,
you don't get to be
God,
indie
no.
rock gods and be, like,
yeah.
yeah, oh yeah, kid, I'm just gonna go sing songs.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
go
it's
play
kind
the
of lame.
hits.
That's kind
Yeah.
of lame. Yeah.
I mean, even fucking Pavement, who some of those people
Oh
actively hate
yeah,
each other,
absolutely.
they still talked at least
Yeah,
during the
there's
show. You know,
plenty of banter, and I like a little banter.
I
I
do
like a
too.
little
Yeah, I
banter.
do too.
Me too.
It
It's like,
is
hey, we
building
care
the
that you're
connection to
here.
your
Right,
fans. Yeah.
exactly. Right.
I was talking to
Bullshit.
this comedian friend. Or I met this comedian in New York when I was visiting Dawson, and his name's Max Silvestri. Anyway, we were talking about it, and he was saying that I was like, yeah, well, like I'm in a band, and people laugh when I say stuff in between. He goes, that's such a fucking gimme. He's like, I think musicians can get laughs immediately because people know you're not trying to make them laugh necessarily. You might be
Mhm.
thinking funny, but he was really like, it's not fair because stand-up comedians can't get that right away instant laugh kind of thing. I always thought that was interesting. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I think that's interesting.
It
I
is
think
interesting.
yeah, because you're trying to like because me, I know if I'm going to a comedy club, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna make you earn it. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just
yeah,
kind of
Sure.
go in with that
Yeah.
attitude a little bit. Like
yeah.
I
I'm
get
the
that.
same way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I don't mean to be a dick. I'm just like, all
I
right,
won't harass them by any means. I
right,
think that's
exactly,
super mean, but like
exactly,
I,
yeah,
I'm paying the 2 drinks, all right? Like,
Yeah,
show me
yeah,
what you
exactly.
got.
Yeah.
right, exactly. Show me what you
Uh,
got.
show me what you got. So in good news, thanks to the New York Post for posting this dumb shit, Gwyneth Paltrow promises no one will ever see her when she finally retires. So apparently, Gwyneth,
Oh,
head of Goop, head of dumb stuff on the internet, will be retiring soon. And I am personally looking forward to it.
no, she sold. Is
Just
it
sick
right?
of being in the
She
limelight.
sold
Sick of it.
Goop. Is that correct? She's. Did you? I think Kathy
Yes.
told me she sold Goop,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
she's out of the Goop industry,
She's out of the
uh,
Goop.
and
Whatever
she's
that
going to be
was.
out of our
And she
lives.
wants to be out of our lives. And
Oh,
I think it's great.
I
More
do
She'll
power
too.
to you, Gwyneth.
We're gonna hold you to that, Gwyneth.
I'm gonna light one of your vagina candles as
Right,
you fade
right. I
away.
don't even want to see your head in a box. That's how little of you I want to see.
I'll tell you what. I guarantee in 15 years she'll be on the Home Shopping Network with her own fucking hour.
Probably.
Just she's like, I used to make stuff like this all the time, and women loved it. And so, now I've got my own line of sequined dildos or whatever the
Oh
fuck
god,
she's peddling. You know,
Secret dildos. I mean, if anybody's gonna make it, it's gonna be that one.
yeah.
that's
Let's
true.
be honest. All
Well,
right.
That's
Well,
true.
that
So
is good news if
it's
she's
great
not lying.
news. I'm very excited about that. Can't wait, Gwen. Can't wait. And then last but definitely not least, let's have a drink for our old pal, the Brass Rail in Hayes,
Oh
America.
Oh,
yeah.
does it have?
They'll be
Oh yeah.
closing later this
Oh,
month. Cheers.
Oh
cheers.
yeah.
What's your favorite memory, guys, from the Brass Rail?
My favorite memory is actually this last time Matt and I we went in there at like 8.
It's probably our
Oh
last
shit, that's
time
right.
we'll ever get to go in there.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I'm glad
Oh,
we did it up. Yeah.
oh, this
yeah,
is sad.
we went to eat at the Mexican place that we like in town. Had 2 pitchers, Jalisco's had 2 pitchers, and it was only like 7:30, and I was like, well, what are we gonna do? And I was like, and we decided to go to the rail, and then there was nobody in the rail except for these 2 bartenders. One was my bartender, and one was Matt's bartender, and we fucking got $100 worth of quarters and played bar trivia all night with
Yeah.
the two of
Played
them.
Mega Touch. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like just all night.
until he
Yeah.
kicked us out at literally 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
It was, and
We
we
were like
drank.
the only people. I think like we had a few random stragglers, but it was mostly yeah, it was just us and the
Just the
Mega
two of
Touch.
you guys?
People
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Was it
around like
then?
11, I think some people came in, and then consequently just kind of left right away, and it was just this weird deal. And I remember that the drinks were what, 350 double wells.
I think that's right. Yes.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Was this
That's
last
a good
4th of
memory.
July? Was it that week?
Yeah.
I
Okay,
think
that's what I
yeah.
thought. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
wasn't feeling very good the next day, but that was fun.
We were not. That was fun though. I think we sort of
Yeah, you
I
guys
don't know.
definitely tied one on.
We
That's when
spiritually
we
left
made
our
the
star on the wall. Yeah.
That's also the same trip you guys made the Hayes Bill of Rights at
Oh, that's right. I forgot all
Q.
about that.
That's
That
right.
was
Yeah.
Find that
amazing.
up. Wow.
Smith,
I
would you
actually
say
did.
that's your favorite memory of the
So
rail?
it was, but I also did have another memory that's not my favorite, not even close, but I was going to mention it. Was that I remember this is probably 12 or 15 years ago. There was a friend of mine, or not a close friend, but a friend that I knew from Hayes. And he was like, he's like, hey, I've got somebody I want you to meet. He's like, it's like a business opportunity. He's like, I don't know. He's like, you seem like a smart guy. I think you might be able to help, like, with this. And I'm like, oh, all right, whatever. Go drink. So we went to the brass rail, and it turned out that it was this, and I'm forgetting. I think the name of it was Lavinity, which sounds a lot like Lavidity, which is what happens to your
Yeah.
blood when you die. Uh, but what it was
Great name,
it
Nat.
was an MLM based in not based in Russell. That it was like Amway, right? Like it was one of
Oh.
these like where you a pyramid scheme, right?
Right.
Like where you
Uh-huh.
would get people underneath you, and it was like, and so I just like had this guy had this whole speech, and I was having fucking none of it. Like I'm just like having like none of it, and I'm pissed off, and I'm just like, but it's awkward, and they're like
Uh-huh.
telling me like, you're missing out, dude, you're missing out, and it almost like kind of turned into a weird fight. So I ended up just leaving because I'm like, I thought we were gonna hang out at the rail and get shit faced, but no. So anyway, like, and apparently this was like a thing in Hayes for a few years. Like there were a lot of people that invested money in this, and ultimately the guy who tried to get me into it or had this, like, ultimately got some people really, really, really pissed off at him around town for this. So it was kind of it was just really, that was probably not my best memory of the rail, but definitely my most memorable because I was just like,
Memorable. Yeah.
oh my God, like,
Yeah.
no, here's how a pyramid scheme works. Like, there has to be 5 trillion people to make the math work, and they're not
Yeah.
5 trillion people.
Oh,
At
that's a
least
good
not
memory.
yet. At least not yet. So anyway, yeah, that
That's
was
the
my
rail. Yeah, that's the place for that.
but it was always a nice escape because if people don't know, I don't know how many audience members we have out. That was just a very sort of dark, like it was
Chill.
divey, but it had a different, like, wasn't like cool
It was
divey.
it was a cool divey.
Yeah.
Like
It was still cool because it wasn't cool.
exactly, because it wasn't totally divey. Like
Right.
my first impression of the rail, because like my parents didn't go to the rail. They just, I don't know, they just didn't go. They were having like their own like parties at our house and having people over to drink. So it wasn't one of those things. But
Right.
when I was 17, the Hayes Arts Council is located right next to the
Yeah.
brass
Right.
rail.
Right.
And so we were doing like a senior show there, and I was putting some artwork, up for the show, and I was in my car and getting it together. And there's this woman sitting outside. She's smoking a cigarette, and she's dressed in black.
No.
And I know, hey, I'm a part of the LGBTQ plus community. Like, she was total dyke, like biker dyke, like big time lady. And
Right.
she's smoking her cigarette, and she's like looking at me, and she's like, hey, you want a job? And I go, what? And she goes, come in here. And I was like, and I was kind of getting sick of taco shop. Sorry, I was getting a little sick of taco shop at that point. I stayed there for 6 years, as we all know. Anyway, I was like, sure, work at a bar at 17. What the fuck? Like, what is she talking about? So I follow her in, and this was pre this last owner, and it is dark and dingy as shit. Do you guys remember when there were like chains from the ceilings and like all kinds of stuff? Like it looked
Oh
like
yeah.
crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
And
refreshed it. They
they
refreshed it.
refreshed
Yeah,
it
yeah,
for
yeah.
sure. But and back in the day when you could smoke in bars still, she's still smoking her cigarette, and she gets behind the bar and she is wheeling and dealing me. She's like, I want to make you an offer. I want you to swing from the chains. I want you to bartend your ass off. I want you to take body shots. I'm going to need you to get a couple piercings. I'm like, oh my God. I was like, did she lock the door behind her? I was literally like inching
Oh,
my way out. And I kept saying, I was like, I am 17 years old, man. Like, da 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 da. Giving me her whole life story. Like, that was my first impression of the brass rail. And I didn't leave that fucking place until like
that
an hour later.
that
Yeah.
wins. I never almost became the house girl for the bride. That's
Yeah.
terrifying. Wow, wow,
Yeah.
wow.
She
They
was.
were like 17. That had to be scary. Like what
It
the
was
heck?
so scary. I literally was like, I was scared she was going to lock me in there. And it was not okay.
It's like
Yeah.
an aggressive grooming before there was the term grooming. It's
Yeah,
like,
Yeah.
it's like
It,
it's like you don't have time to groom.
it
Plan
was
B.
aggressive grooming. I
that's
was
right.
like, this is way too intense. But that was
Wow.
like my worst memory of it, which was also my first. My favorite memory was Chris Kattan and that whole thing when he
Oh,
came to
that's
town.
right. I forgot
Because
about the
he
whole
hung out at the
thing.
brass rail.
Yeah, yeah.
Tyson, you remember this, right?
No.
So like
I was there.
you
Were
you
you
were
there?
there.
Yeah,
Yeah, because I feel like I was telling you guys like get to the rail or whatever, because that's what everybody else was doing. Like him and the girl he was dating at the time were there with her family. And it was just like, what the fuck is happening right now? And so people started saying, hey, get to the rail, blah, 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 because they're playing pool back there. And just a shitload of people started coming in swarms. And I remember Chris Kattan went up to the bar and people would not stop bugging
Oh
him.
no.
Like, can I have your autograph? Can I take a picture? Blah, blah, blah. And he's just like, sorry, guys, I'm here with my girlfriend and her family. Like, I just want some privacy. And I was just like, buddy, are you fucking
Oh my
joking?
god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go home and play cards with them if you didn't want all this shit. So
Yeah.
anyway, he's like ordering a bunch of drinks, and he was like, I'm up at the bar, and I go, man, I'm so sorry that you're here and dealing with this shit. And he just looks at me and he goes, thank you for that. And then he's like, can you help me with a couple
Oh.
drinks? And I was like, yeah, of course. So I'm helping him with a couple drinks. But my favorite part of that whole two things, Paul Solomon was one of those like people that was fangirling. And Megan, you know what I'm talking about because she was so annoyed by it. And then two, when he was finally leaving, there was some fucking drunk asshole that was like, hey, why are you leaving? Because Will Ferrell isn't here, you fucking asshole.
Yeah.
I was
I
like,
know.
that's the Hayes America I
Oh
know
my
and
god.
love.
Yeah. They're
right
not.
there.
They don't deal well with celebrity. Like
No,
no.
not at all.
No. I mean, you would
I
have
mean, people
thought.
lost their minds.
Oh my god. Yeah. You would have thought it was like Top Gun 87 Tom Cruise that walked into that place, and people were like, I mean,
They really did.
just so embarrassing. Like we were in a booth. I can't remember if you were in the same booth and we were all in the booth together, but we just kind of watched people because he was playing. And it was just, we just were like, oh, this poor bastard like can't go anywhere. And he's
No.
Chris Kattan. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Can you
not like
imagine
he
a
was.
real
It's not like
celebrity?
he was in his prime. No, I
No.
mean he was like,
He had been off SNL for years.
right,
Yeah,
right.
that
So
was
yeah,
a collective.
He
Yeah, it
was-
was weird.
It
Very
wasn't-
strange.
He wasn't exactly the linchpin of the cast either when he was around.
not exactly.
Not
right.
at all. Like he had that character Mango or whatever. That's
Yeah.
really the only one I can remember.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
one of
and the what was it with Will Ferrell? The Saturday Night Guys.
The
Yeah.
Labouche song with the
Yeah.
yeah. Oh God, I remember
It's the
somebody saying
Roxbury.
something
That
about
was-
mango
It's
too.
a Roxbury. Yes, thanks, guys.
Somebody was like, "Do mango." Somebody would say, "Do mango, do mango." Like, shut up. Oh my God.
Oh, so good. So good.
Yeah.
I love it. Rail, we're gonna miss you.
We
So
are
many
going to miss you.
memories.
There were you had more memories than I remembered. So thank you, Rail.
Actually, and that's where my parents hung out when they were going to college. I mean, it was an old bar, so it seems
It was
really
an old
strange.
bar. Yeah.
It seems weird that it has not become like an historical landmark at this point. I mean, I know it's
Yeah, what I was thinking too, but
I wonder if the Arts Council might be. I hate to see them like make it not a bar, but maybe they could make the Arts Council half Arts Council have bar.
Oh
Try
my
sell some
God.
paintings.
Brenda Mater, I'm going to send her this episode and be like, hey, there's a great idea
Somewhere in
within
here.
it.
Just
Yeah.
somewhere. Just
Around the hour 14-minute mark. Girl, check it out.
Almost towards the end.
Yeah.
I can't imagine it's that. I can't imagine it's that pricey a real estate.
Well,
No.
and I had like jokingly said, hey, do we want to buy the brass rail? Because like that's where my head's at. Like, surely it can't be that much.
I want to say it was.
We were talking
Yeah,
about that
like
last time
we
we
were. Yeah, like not to because I think that she might have told us. Did she tell us that it was coming on the market?
Yeah, she
And
did.
she wasn't supposed to. That's
No
right.
shit.
They confided
Okay.
in us, and they
Yeah.
told us a year ago that they were. Yeah.
So did she tell you how much they were selling it for, or
I
no?
think no, but I think I found it later, and it was like 150 or something.
Yeah, it
like
wasn't.
that.
Okay.
Like I mean,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, and I don't know what the logistics and costs of owning. I mean, it could have
I think
crazy high cooling and heating costs, and I mean, could be in disrepair. I have no idea about the building.
Yeah.
This is not official endorsement from Jabberjaw to invest in the brass rail, just so we can drink there again.
Just so we're clear.
Yeah, but if you want to, I mean,
If you want to, we will drink
by all
there.
means. By all
Hey,
means.
we'll do a show from the rail.
We
if
will.
You buy it.
We will. Yeah, we will cut.
I can promise
Tyson,
you
can
that.
cut the ribbon.
I think we did learn. I think
he's gonna need a kazoo and a large scissors.
Well equipped.
I do think she told us that night that the liquor license was for sale with the bar, if I remember.
Okay,
correctly.
I think that's which is a big game changer. I think.
Yeah, which I think is why it was 150 instead of 95 or whatever.
Right,
it really should have been.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That is too bad. I was hoping that somebody would maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it might happen.
Why can't they close the rows? Or they probably have closed the rows.
I don't know. Some wanderer might travel through and see the bar. I don't know.
Okay.
Dust in the wind.
Dust in the wind.
Is there an official closing date? Have you heard? Do you know?
I have not. I just read end of the month, but something tells me I think it's like this weekend because I kept seeing October 21st or something like that. Sorry.
I don't know. Maybe you can give them a call this weekend. Just be like, hey, I don't want anything. Just wishing you guys farewell.
Pour a shitty beer out into the sink and be like, I'll miss you. I'll miss you a lot.
I will miss you.
Didn't they try to get a dance club going in the basement for a while there? I think I remember that.
Well, they did all this stuff because you guys remember when I had my bachelorette party, we went to the rail and they had the shuffleboard down there and all kinds of shit. So, but I do think you're right, Tice. I think they wanted to I don't know, like a basement home party club or something.
Basically, black lights and a DJ stand.
Right.
Yeah, getting naughty.
They walked into the home and they're like, how can we replicate this? Like, well, we've got a dank old basement.
There's black mold down there, so let's just paint over it.
All right. It's all right. Might kill the syphilis.
Let's test it out. Oh my God. Good times. Good times. All right. Well, should we plug it up?
Some plugs? Yeah.
All right.
You, the ice cream manufacturer. You, the frozen food distributor. And you, the food retailer. Stand today in the midst of a selling revolution. For today, you're in a merchandising era of self-service, where display and accessibility are the key to successful merchandising. Yes, today's problem is merchandising. To sell in high volume for high profits, frozen products are impulse items, and impulse buying is primarily an emotional decision.
Never gets old.
So
never. Love it.
I think it gets old.
I like playing it because I think Tyson is over it. Like he can see it in his eyes, and he says it sometimes. He's like, you know what? We can just skip the plugs.
Yeah,
I like it. I would like to hear that. Like when I'm like filling up gas and instead of the ads, I want to hear that. Just
I would like it to be like pretty short, like a lot shorter than that. I don't know. Anyway, I have a weird plug, and it's kind of just a Tyson thing, but 'tis the season for novelty Halloween music. I have
Oh,
a lot of. Uh, I do enjoy novelty records, and anyway, so there's a. I'll just show you. This is Ghoul music,
Oh, sick.
very nice.
and it was put
That's a
out.
great album cover.
It is. It was first reissue of the 1965 Halloween horror rock classic, limited to 900 copies. I got this several months ago, actually, on Amazon. But my favorite thing about it, and here's the back of it, and I'll send you a picture of it. You can put it up. But they have songs like so. The songs on side A are "What Kind of Ghoul Am I?" Mummy's Little Boy, Good Noose, Noose, The Wrist Twist, Shoot a Nanny. But what they have underneath is the dance moves that you're supposed to use for each song.
Oh,
So,
very nice.
what kind of ghoul am I is actually you're supposed to do the mashed potato. Mummy's Little Boy,
Ooh,
you're
cool.
supposed to do the monkey and the twist. The foxtrot for good news. That's I know there's 65 people still doing foxtrot. I don't know. Let's see, what was it? Holy Goalie, Fly Me to the Goon, Fly Me to the
Me too,
Goon.
the goon.
Uh,
Da, da, da.
let's see.
These are jams.
Yeah, Monster Motion. You're supposed to do the Watusi. Uh, Interesting thing about there's 5 records this group put out, and they had like session players that ended up being in Bob Dylan's band, being a
Oh, shit.
part of Frank Zappa's band. Like all these crazy musicians came in to because this guy who was producing it knew a bunch of people. They're not listed on here. It's all like this lore, but you can look if you look it up on the online, you can find out all the stuff. So anyway, as Halloween gets closer, novelty Halloween songs, it's all the rage. It was big in 1950, 65. So yeah. Anyway,
I'm into it.
that's
You
my
know what I
plug.
just realized, guys? Not to interrupt. Our 100th episode is going to be Halloween.
Is
Is it
it
really?
really?
If we stick to the schedule and do one next week, the following week is Halloween.
Wow, that's
How
Oh wow,
amazing is that?
wow, that's big. That's
that is
big.
huge. Oh
We should
good.
try to
That
stick
is
to the
a
schedule.
Jabberjaw exclusive,
That's an
everybody.
incentive to stick to the
Yeah.
schedule. And
Yes.
wow. Somebody was listening.
I
Somebody was
love
looking at
how
the
you
calendar.
both are like, will I have my outfit by then? Not sure.
I
We'll
know. I
see.
don't know.
I have my outfit. I bought an aspirational outfit. So hopefully, someday I would be in shape enough to wear it, and I'm gonna try it on. So
Oh, fuck
Oh,
hopefully it works.
yeah. Fuck yes. I'm
exciting.
excited.
Oh, me too. And if it doesn't fit, you guys can't see below my head anyway. Who gives a shit? So anyway,
Oh,
yeah.
I love it.
Sorry. Anyway, oh, yeah, those are my plugs. Matt, you got anything?
That's a
I
good
didn't
one.
have a lot. The only one I had was the new season of Sex Education. Just came out on Netflix. I don't know. Have you guys watched the series Sex Education?
That's with Gillian Anderson, right? Isn't
Yes,
she
that's
in
correct.
that?
Yep,
I
yep. And
I
Asa
watched like
Hutchinson.
one episode and I liked it and then I got distracted by
Yeah, it's
something.
quite.
I feel like
I'm rewatching it. I watched the first 2 seasons, and then I saw they were coming out with a fourth, so I thought I'd get back into it. So it's actually quite good. It's a British show where like the main premise is this kid's mother is a sexual therapist, and then he winds up like being kind of a sexual therapist for his students, or not his students, but his co-students at
Classmates.
school, and so he's like, yes, classmates. That's what I was, co-students. That's why I was not very good at school. Look at all you co-students. And I think that was it. That was about trying to think if there were a couple new things that came out. I'm hearing a lot
there's
of
a lot of
buzz about
Halloween
this.
stuff out.
There's a lot of buzz about this. What's it called? House of the Fall of Usher,
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
which is
Jonas and I
new on
started
Netflix.
watching that.
How is
Yeah.
that? Because I'm going to use that as a segue because that was probably where we were moving next to.
I mean, so far so okay. I feel like it's not as good as what was it, The Haunting of Whatever Manor, like from the
Oh,
same
Blythe.
guy.
Wow,
Yeah,
Blythe
Blythe
Manor.
Manor.
Yeah.
That was good. That actually was my favorite. I like it. I want to give it a little more time.
Okay.
To just to get to know it a little bit and see if I want to plug it or just throw it away. Because the first 2 episodes were not that great.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good to know.
The graphics in the second one are really impressive, and there's a lot of nudity. I'll just say that for the fans out there that
Of
want to see a
graphics
bunch
and/or
of
nudity. Yeah.
orgies and things. If you're into
No.
that,
Wow.
check it out. So
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
everyone.
And yet they're giving Bluey shit. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a travesty.
It is.
No, I
Bluey's.
need to check out Sex Education. That's been on
Yeah,
the
it's pretty
list
good.
for a
It's pretty
while.
good. I'm a big fan of the British comedies sometimes. So
Matt, I think
Sometimes.
you're a proponent of that Outer Banks show, and I found out that some of those scenes were shot in Edisto.
yeah, that's
Oh,
cool.
that's
Was
cool.
that on part of the tour that you
No,
took?
the guy that did the tour in Buford had name dropped. A lot of people like to name drop things because like their town's gorgeous, but nothing's happened there except for people coming and filming shit that
Right,
happened
sure,
100
sure.
years ago. So yeah. Anyway,
That's cool. Yeah.
Dig it.
It's a what do I call it? It's a indulgence. It's
yeah.
it's a little shameful indulgence on my part, but it's an interesting show. It's an interesting show.
I like it.
So
Oh, go ahead, Tyson.
I was just right before we started the show. There was a show on Amazon Prime called "The 50 Worst Movies of All Time," and I literally have saw like 41 of them. I've
that
seen
doesn't
41
surprise
of
me.
them, and the ones that
That does not surprise me whatsoever.
the ones that I've missed are ones that you wouldn't think of, like Leonard Part 6. I've never seen that. I know it's supposed to be
I've
bad.
seen Leonard Part 6, and it is a terrible movie. Oh, it was the Bill Cosby vehicle.
Yep.
Real bad.
Yeah, and Manos didn't make the cut. I thought was weird, but anyway, but yeah, I was just like, Best like, have you seen that? I'm like, yep, I have seen that. I was like, Alan Hale Jr.'s in it. It's like what?
Who the fuck?
Yeah, I know. He's
Oh
the
man.
skipper from Gilligan's Island. Alan Hale.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
He's
Thank you for that.
He's in a surprising amount of bad movies that I've seen.
That makes sense. That does
That
make
would.
sense.
That would.
Okay, so there is an old favorite on Hulu that I think just started streaming like a week ago. Moonlighting. I feel like there's been a lot of like
Was
press
that
around
finally?
it.
Oh, I
Interesting.
didn't know.
It is, yeah. It's on there now, and all of the seasons are on there. And I started watching it a couple days ago. I freaking love it. Their chemistry is just,
Yeah,
it's so good.
yeah.
And it kind of brings me back to childhood and like feeling like I was getting away with something when I was watching it with my mom.
Oh, that's fun.
But yeah,
What's
I
on?
highly recommend that. It's on Hulu.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah,
And I feel like everybody who listens to this will remember it, but if you don't, it's a show starring Sybil Shepherd and Bruce Willis back in the day when they were little hottie patatis. And there's a lot of like sexual tension, and then there isn't because they finally hook up, and it's like very like cheesy, and I love it. So that's definitely a plug. And then there's a cover from the Beths and Pickle Darlings. I don't know if you guys listen to that one or not, of the Postal Service's Brand New Colony. And it is
No.
so cute. I fucking love it. It's like one of my favorite covers to come out this year.
Huh.
And we all know that Tyson is a huge Beths fan. So
I am.
dig it. Check it out for sure.
The wife and the band.
Both the best. And then there's a guy in New York that we saw at Joe's Pub. His name is Murray Hill. And for all of the New York listeners, if you have not seen Murray Hill, and I have not blasted your eardrums with going to see him at Joe's Pub, you should absolutely go to Joe's Pub and see his one-man show. It was one of the best things that we did while I was there. Like,
Oh, wow.
Have you guys been to Joe's Pub when you've gone to New York? It's part of the public theater there.
I've been to his crab shack, but not his.
Hey,
oh wait, I've been there.
Hey. But it's a very intimate like setting. It's maybe like a 150 seat small theater, and they've got a stage, and it's all cabaret stuff or vaudeville or any of that. And he's been with Joe's Pub for over 20 years, and now he's finally getting notoriety. He's a drag king, And he's finally getting notoriety because he's in Somebody Somewhere on HBO Max. Well, the Max now, with Bridget Everett, who also performs there. And they've been best friends doing this shtick for a long time. Anyway, I just adore him. It was so cool to like see him perform. He was throwing snacks out in the audience, and I caught one of the bags of Cheetos. It was just super fun. And then afterwards, my favorite part was that he was hanging out by the bathrooms to meet and greet people.
Awesome.
Oh, it was so good. And I saw one of the guys from oh God, what is it? Only Murders in the Building. That guy who plays the stage manager.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I was like, "Hey, you're on," and he goes, "Only Murders in the Building," and I was like, "Yeah," and I go, "I love your part, man," and he was like, "Thank you," and I could tell he was like hiding behind some of his friends. I'm like, "Don't worry, I'm not going to ask your autograph, picture. It's fine." But anyway, go check out Murray Hill if you can, if you live in New York, or you're visiting. And then the last plug is there's a new album out from Sufjan Stevens.
Oh yeah.
And it's called Javelin. Have you listened to it, Tice?
I heard the singles, because he's been sick, so they've been playing it a lot on the XMU.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy about him as you are, but
Oh man, I fucking love. That's the best show I've ever been to. Is Sufjan in Austin.
People are saying that they really like this record though. So
the guy can write about like death and dying like nobody's business. Like that album before this, Carrie and Lowell, that he wrote about his mom. Good God, like kill me now. It knocked me over. But this is so beautiful. It's just the guy is amazing. I'm a big fan. Check it out if you like it. Talking to Megan out there. Megan watches our show so much, you guys. It's so cute. She'll send me Snapchats of her favorite parts.
Aw, well, that's nice.
She's a big fan, and she likes that you antique, Tice.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, you should have heard me at the plantation. I went in the back room and I was like, see that thing over there in the corner? That's called a tall boy. You see that fan shape in the top? That means it was. I go. That means it was made in Philadelphia. It's a Philadelphia piece. But if you look at the drawers, they're a different color wood than the back. That means it's been rehabbed. So it is not an original tall boy. If it was an original tall boy, it'd be worth like $1 million. And they're like, "You watch too much Antiques Roadshow." And I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, I agree with you. But yeah,
you are correct. Yes.
Yep.
Oh man.
You guys know who Daywave is? Daywave. Are you familiar with his music?
I think it may be.
I feel like I've heard of them.
It's a guy. He's a guitar player. He kind of does his own thing. He has like a drum machine. I heard I'm still trying to find it, but he did a cover of PDA by Interpol that is awesome. Like, it's like, imagine like, you know how dark all of the first couple records of Interpol is. You know, it's like kind of that darkness is kind of built into the mix. And this is just kind of like a happy version of it. It's just very strange. I will try to find
Will
it.
you send that to us?
Yeah, I'll put it on the playlist.
Oh, the playlist, yeah. We need one.
I need to put. I will do 2 playlists. I will do the one that I didn't do last week with your suggestions, and then I'll do another one. And let's do covers. So why don't you guys send me your favorite covers?
Okay.
And I'll put some of my favorite covers, and then that'll be the cover one.
I like this challenge.
I like this too.
Yeah, me too.
All right.
A lot of
and
fun
fans,
covers.
send in your favorite covers too. Like we can make this a collaboration.
This interactive.
Yeah.
Yes, please do.
You're on a time limit though. Tice, when do you want to post this shit?
I don't know. It just depends. I can hold on. I can hold on to it for a while because but the longer I don't post it or tell you to post it, the more songs keep creeping in. So I'm trying to keep it to a tight 60 to 70 minutes.
All right, we'll work within that parameter.
All right.
But anyway, yeah, just send it. And if it's awesome, I'll get it on some other playlist or whatever.
Cool.
It is weird. I do miss our radio days, kids. I had shows with both of these 2 kids.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so much fun, and we got such good feedback. Well, in my brain, we did.
Yeah, no, people liked it sometimes.
There were some pretentious people out there, like Jordan Gray, who was like, "Actually, I like you guys a lot," and I was like, "Really? You? Okay, nice, thanks.
I'll take it. Thank you.
Yeah. All right.
All
That's
right.
all she wrote.
All right.
We did a
We did
tight
it.
Always a pleasure.
94 minutes right there.
94 minutes.
This is our sweet spot.
It
This
is.
really is.
It is. All right. So next week, 99, and then the following week, Halloweeny,
The
100.
big one.
Sounds good.
There's going to
The
be
big one.
tricks and treats and all kinds of stuff.
Ooh,
So
maybe I'll make a
stay
cake. Or
tuned
I'll
for that.
buy a cake or something because I don't think making
I'm
a
just
cake
going to have a strobe light in the background and a fog machine. This bedroom's going to get it.
explode.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, I'm in.
Explode.
That's
Burn this
that's good
sucker down.
podcasting right there.
It is. It is. End in fire.
Exactly.
All for the YouTube that 3 people watched.
Yeah.
But, whatever.
We
I
appreciate
love
you.
all 3 of those people.
We do.
All
We do.
right. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Get that kazoo out, Tyson.
Oh yeah. Right. I'll turn Moragos.
Our big choked to death.